Very good. Thanks, Owen. Good evening, and this is the January meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission. My name is Greg Young. I'm the chair of the commission. And this open meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Healy's executive order of March 29th, 2023, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Northborough Conservation Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Northborough Conservation Commission to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded, so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda, unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dan Clark.
Here.
Justin Dufresne.
Here.
Diane Gouldner.
Here.
Todd Helwig.
Here.
Very good. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Vincent Vignali.
Here.
Owen Jones.
Here.
All right, thank you. So ground rules. The chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until the name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the commission will be conducted by a roll call. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click Raise Hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized. The chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing via the Northborough Remote Meetings tab on the town's website. All right, Diane, you ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
There will be a meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission on Monday, January 8th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law March 29th, 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members or public will be permitted. To participate in the public comment portion of this public hearing, go to the Northborough Remote Meetings YouTube channel or the town website for Zoom information included on the posted meeting agenda. The meeting will include the following hearings pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, and the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and/or the Northborough Stormwater Management and Land Disturbance Bylaw. Application for notice of intent at 10 Blueberry Lane, map 47, parcel 85, owned by Winston Saboyo, to replace a failed septic system within the 100-foot wetland buffer zone. Second one is application for a request of determination of applicability at 14 Mohawk Drive, map 37, parcel 7, owned by William McCarthy, to add fill to replace a failed septic system in the outer 100-foot buffer zone. Lastly, application for a notice of intent at 6 Hillside Road, map 105, parcel 18, owned by Enos Shilhu of White Acre Properties, to renovate the existing structure and deck within the same footprint, install an overhang, and replace a failed septic system. Work is proposed within the 25-foot no disturb zone and throughout the 100-foot wetland buffer zone. And that's it.
Great, thanks, Diane.
Mhm.
Okay, meeting minutes from December. Once again, Vinnie Brennan continues to do a great job with the meeting minutes, so. Any concerns, corrections, comments by the commission? No shaking heads. Everybody seems okay. And we need a motion to accept.
Move to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dan. Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes. All right. All right, first item on the agenda is public hearings, continued notice of intent, stormwater management, land disturbance permit for Zero Boundary Street, AKA the Town Dog Park. Let's see
Yep,
who we have.
just so you know, that's now been labeled 150 Boundary Street.
150, okay. Right, let's see who we have here. I've got Jonathan from,
Jonathan Law, yeah,
yeah, let's bring him in.
and Laurie Connors.
Laurie Connors is there. Okay. In process. Here we go. There's Laurie and there's Jonathan. Very good. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having us again this evening.
Good. Good.
Okay,
Okay. Go ahead.
so you should have a revised plan, and I'm gonna kick it over to Jonathan Law to explain the revisions and answer any questions that you folks might have.
Super.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all again. Just let me get to share my screen here. Everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
So I think we were before you in November, I think, if you recall. We're now in 2024, which seems crazy that we're 2024 already. Since the last meeting, we've made some, I would say, minor revisions to the plan. We met with the planning board on December 5th and got approval from them. They did have a few comments that they wanted us to address, one mainly to do with fencing down the eastern side. We addressed that. They wanted to have a 7-foot privacy wood fence. So we've included that in the design. Another couple of changes, or another change that has been made since you last saw this design, was this overflow parking area, if you recall, was originally going to be all asphalt millings. Now there's just this central section here that's asphalt millings to be able to access this small dumpster area, and then the rest of it will be 3/4-inch crushed stone paving. The storage area, snow storage area, now is located here. We submitted the documents, and on January 2nd got 12 comments from Vinnie, which we have corresponded back and forth with him and addressed all those comments. I mean, they're the major changes since you last saw this. I believe that some of the grading was revised slightly to accommodate these new surfaces in this overflow parking area, but they all meet the current code requirements. With that, I'll open it to any questions.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jonathan. Vinnie, in terms of the responses you have, where do you stand on that?
Yes, I've gotten the responses. I got a response to the comments. Actually, I got it this morning. And they were good. They responded to the issues, concerns that I had raised. in regard to their drainage, that the system is going to work effectively, and the conditions of doing a test pit in the basin portion of the infiltration basin were responded. That's going to be a condition of the approval. I've got, I have a list of, I think, 7 now conditions that I had included in those responses. The first was the soil deep test for the soil. And then the fill material in the compost filter tube had to be composted material. It's kind of common sense, but the detail originally had just said that it could have been just wood chips. So if it's going to be a compost tube, it should be composted. They don't show, and I don't know if Jonathan, if you can show where the collector drain discharges, but we were thinking I was going to just add in a condition that it has to discharge to the infiltration basin on the east side, so it's not going directly into the wetlands on the west side.
Okay.
So is it actually shown on the plan, Jonathan?
Grading plan.
Yeah, it was the alternate for the collector drain.
Yeah. I'll have to check that back with our civil engineer to see if he incorporated that.
Okay. But that's a condition we can add in. And then the long-term pollution prevention plan, they just submitted it this morning, and I need to review it to make sure that it's approval, but I just have a condition that it will get approved, or it needs approval before they get construction or permission to start construction.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was a comment from DEP about a discharge within the zone A for the reservoir across the street. And Weston and Sampson said that they will revise or address that and resolve it with DEP. And I was going to put that as a condition of approval that needs to be done prior to beginning construction.
Okay. And
then actually the last one just came up. The response that they submitted was submitted by a wetland scientist. She seems like she's doing a good job, but there were comments and responses in regard to flood elevations, drainage calculations, different treatment processes that you need. I was looking to protect the town to have a PE stamp or something, some other certified person certifying to that document. So Jonathan sent me an email shortly a little while ago and said that he would have the PE take care of that. And so I think
all those calculations and drainage calculations were performed by a registered PE, so we can have them sign that letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those were the conditions or issues around the comments that I had outstanding.
So Vinny, are any of these conditions of concern for you, or are they such that it looks to me like they're ones that we could move forward with and just have them before construction begins? They'd have to sign off. You have to sign up on those conditions, but we can start moving.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's up to commission if they have other issues or concerns. But based on what I've seen, I think it's in a state where we can close the hearing and issue an order with those conditions.
Okay. All right. Let's see what the commission thinks. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Just quickly, Vinny, I got dropped for a sec, but the collector drain, where is that one?
There's an alternate proposal for synthetic turf in the area, the play area for the dogs, and within that there's a collector drain that collects that. So that would be a high, I mean, it's going to have a lot of pee, we assume, because of the dogs. And so I didn't want that going straight into the wetland. I thought it should go into the infiltration basin. And and I think the grading generally goes toward the east. That's the way they design this, because the wetlands are off to the west. So it's the best layout really for the site, I think.
That's correct.
Any more questions? No. Let me see if any general public, any attendees have questions. I don't see any hands up. Okay. So Vinny, it sounds like we can move ahead with closing the hearing and issuing an order with 6 or 7 conditions listed here.
Yeah, we have our standard, I think, 20 something, 29, 30 conditions, and then we would add these 7.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Then we need a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Second by Diane. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes,
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Now we need a condition to order. We need to issue an order of condition for and a stormwater management land disturbance permit, Vinny, right? This is a 2 for
Yes, 2. Yep.
for 150 Boundary Street with the 7 conditions as outlined in Vinny's note.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
second,
Second by Diane. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes,
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, the dog park is moving forward.
Thank you very much for your support.
All right, very good. Thanks,
Look
Laurie.
forward to seeing you at the dog park in a year from now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
Thank
enough.
you, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jonathan.
Bye.
Good night. All right. You're a welcome addition to town. Let's see, we continuations here. We have a stormwater management, 311 Crawford Street.
Yes, they submitted a request for a continuation to the next meeting. They're pulling paperwork together and kind of away on vacation, I think is the current status.
Way on vacation.
Or away, I don't know, on vacation.
Okay. Do we think we'll actually see something next month?
I think so, because I think we're getting things ready for the construction season. So I think they need to have something ready so they can get a price for whatever they're gonna try to build.
Okay. All right. I guess we give it another month here. We did open this in May, but that's
Yes.
we'll get done before then, hopefully. At least we'll get something in front of us before May.
Oh, I hope that. Yes. I'm hoping to see something in the next month.
Okay. Need to make a motion to continue 311 Crawford Street.
so continue.
Yep. Second.
Second by Todd. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes,
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. "15 Prospect Street, also a continuation. Anything from them, Vinny?
Yep, they requested a continuation again. They haven't received their approval from the Board of Health, and they have a septic system change in the front that's gonna, if they get it approved, they'll be able to switch the house around and not have any building within 35-foot no build or no structure zone. So we're hoping that that will happen, but they are awaiting review by the Board of Health.
Okay. I know they were trying to pivot the whole house and just get it away from the resource area, so it's a good thing.
Yes.
All right, need a motion to continue the notice of intent for 15 Prospect Street.
So moved.
For a second,
Second.
second by Dan. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes,
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. We have an NOI for 10 Blueberry Lane.
That will be Vito.
I do not see Vito.
Uh-oh.
Do not see Vito.
Okay, let me see if I can pull up the plan. So, 10 Blueberry. Come on. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
All right, let me see if I can share the screen.
I see something.
Yep, I gotta zoom into it, but I'm not sure which zoom I'm looking for here. Here it
Okay.
is. I think so.
That's the one.
Yeah. Oh, why isn't it not dragging across? I guess I have to use this. Yeah, these computers are new to me. Okay, Blueberry Lane this is a repair, septic system repair. Blueberry Lane here, it is off of Hemlock, and north is straight up the plan. But they have an existing house. Existing septic system is right in the middle of the front yard, and it failed. They have wetlands to the north and wetlands to the south, and a big pool in the backyard. I think the commission, Greg said the commission did some investigation or looked at this property for the pool in the past. So what they're proposing to do is replace the failed system here with a new system, no increase in size. They are 82 feet away from the wetland to the north, and over 100. This is the 100-foot buffer line from the south. So they're about 104 from the south. So they're kind of splitting the distance as best you can and fitting it in this corner of the lot. Driveway comes in here around to the house. So it looks like it's the best they can do for a tight site, and it's a repair. So that should be an improvement.
It's pretty much the same footprint, right?
Yeah, pretty much. They're yes, same area of system. This is a different kind of system. I think it's one of the modular Elgin modules, so it should work a little more efficiently. And they're going to have to monitor the septic tank. Actually, I think there's a pump in this one. No, so it's Elgin units, and it's just a regular septic tank to a D box.
Okay.
The only issue I found with this site was that there's a little access road that comes out here, and there was yard waste, branches and things down in the south, right in the 25-foot no disturb zone in the south, with some tires and some kind of automobile parts. I have a photo, but it might be longer to find it and get it up for you. But what I'm hoping to do is get the order or get your comments, and if appropriate, we'll get an order, and we'll require as a condition that they clean up all the material that's in that 25-foot buffer zone before they can start construction on their septic system.
All right. It seems reasonable. Any questions from the commission? Comments or concerns?
Looks good to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
as I say, it looks clear.
I will check I don't see any hands up in the audience. Okay, then we need to close the hearing on 10 Blueberry Lane.
I move that we close this hearing.
Second.
Second, was that Dan?
Nope. Todd.
Todd. Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, now we need an approval to issue order of conditions for 10 Blueberry Lane with the usual conditions, Vinny, plus the one you mentioned about cleaning up the waste area by the southern wetlands, I guess that is.
Yes, that'll be before they can start construction of the
Okay.
septic system.
Okay. Need a motion for that.
I move that we issue an order of conditions as usual, plus the one that indicates they will clean up the mess. Mess isn't exactly the best word. The trash,
Debris, yes.
the
Okay.
debris, before they get a chance to get a new septic system.
Good. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes. All right. We'll hold off till you take that down, Vinny. I know you're working on it
Oh,
diligently.
I'm sorry. Whoops. Trying to. How do I get there? Too many screens going. Stop. Here it goes.
Perfect. All right. The next one we have is 14 Mohawk Drive. That is an RDA for a failed septic system. I don't see any hands up.
I was afraid you were going to say that. That was veto as well. 14 Mohawk. And I will bring up the plan.
This one, Vinny, doesn't look like we have a DEP number on this one yet, huh? Unless we've gotten it.
We don't need
We
one.
don't
This
need
was
one.
a request for
Oh, it's
determination.
just RDA.
It's only
Okay.
an RDA,
Yeah.
right? The next one doesn't have a DEP number though.
Okay.
Oop, too far. Okay, let me zoom out a little so you get the idea. So this one, we have wetlands in the rear, and we have Mohawk Drive in the front. Mohawk is off of Washburn, off Whitney. The location is, it's basically the same issue as the last project. There's an existing septic system in this location. It failed, so they're proposing to put this new one a little bit larger, a little tweaked counterclockwise. And the wetland location is up in this area, up to the north. And where my 100-foot buffer zone lines are here, runs here and then down, I think. Oh no, down here. So you've got, the system is located about 102 feet away from the nearest wetlands there. So what they have is they're trying to repair it. No increase in size in the structure. It's just a simple repair. They are proposing to put in 2 signs because there's a little bit of activity. There's an old collapsing shed out back, but this is a 25-foot no disturb. So I asked for a sign in this area here, and that's what the note says, to put a sign here for wetlands no disturb, and then one over here, wetlands no disturb. So that the people are aware that we assume that it's being sold, so people that buy it are aware that they can't expand into those areas.
Yep. You said it's 102 feet?
Yes.
That's
This
not
is the
even
100-foot buffer zone from this wetland. This is 25, 35,
Oh yeah, they're
and
just
then 100.
barely. Yeah, they just barely encroach in a little bit inside the 100.
They're
Yeah.
doing, yes, they got some grading inside
Yeah.
the 100.
Okay.
That's why it's an RFD.
So nothing special, Vinny, other than the usual.
No, I
Usual-
think this one, they already added in. I made comments and Vito same day changed it up and added the signs, and I think we're ready to go.
Okay. Any
I have a-
questions or comments, concerns from the commission?
I have a question. Is
Go
this lot particularly just flat? There's no grading or anything required?
Correct. There's limited grading. You can kind of see this solid line here. I can zoom in a little, but this will, oh. So this line here shows the grading that goes out. This is the existing contour coming like
Mhm.
this, and then another contour that comes right there. So they're filling maybe a foot and then filling down here about 3 feet, but it drops right off. They have an impermeable liner to keep the grading limited. They're actually trying to protect this tree, so it keeps the impacts away from our wetlands that are in the back here too. So it's very limited grading. It's not like it's a big fill system.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you.
Anything else? No.
Nope.
So Vinny, I think we're looking at a negative determination here with just boilerplate, right?
The standard conditions, yeah. Well, actually, we don't have standard
Well,
boiler conditions, but just a condition that they notify the commission 48 hours before they do the
the
sediment control, and I'll inspect it.
and a couple of signs will be a little
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Well, they're on the plan, so
Good.
we'll just have them follow the plan.
Okay, so I think we need to close the hearing to start this. Need a motion to do that.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Jess Dufresne,
yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So now we're looking to issue a negative determination for 14 Mohawk Drive with nothing added special of any, right?
Nothing special, correct.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dan. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Jess Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. We are now looking at 6 Hillside Road.
This one I know I'm going to get help on. I think Zoe's here.
Zoe's here. I see Zoe
Yep.
Kroner. I'll bring Zoe in.
Zoe, yep.
You should join us any moment.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi,
Happy New
Enos.
Year.
Happy New Year. The applicant Enos might be trying to join in. I'm not quite sure, but I'm here to present the project.
Oh, I don't see him anything. I'll keep my eye out.
Okay, thank you. So I could share my screen if that's okay.
Sure. We took a look at Hillside Road during our site walks. Interesting property.
Yes. All right, can everyone see my screen?
I can see it.
Yes.
All right, great. So awesome. Some of you have been there. Small lot, come down Hillside Road. The driveway looks like it's partially off-site. The driveway comes up, stops around here, and then we've got lawn that goes around the side and the back, and then we have the bank of Smith Pond over here. There's a little small retaining wall here with lawn and a walkway that leads up to the house. The back of the house.
Excuse me, Zoe. I don't see your pointer on my screen,
Oh,
so
sorry.
I'm not
That's
following.
probably not helpful. Let's see. You can't see my pointer. Okay. Well, I'll pull up the site plan. Maybe that will be better. So this is the site plan that we submitted. Now, okay, so coming down hills, still can't see my pointer, right?
Yep, I can see it. It's small, but it's moving. I can see
Oh,
that.
okay, perfect. Okay, so there's a lot of lines here because they're using this plan for the Board of Health septic application as well. So, but Hillside Road, there's a driveway. Actually, I highlighted it over here. In purple is where the driveway is. And then so these, I'm just going to go over I was going over the existing conditions really quick. And the last thing I was bringing up is the deck in the back, and there's a patio piece underneath the deck. It doesn't meet the whole length of the deck. It comes out about 6 feet out. an old concrete patio. And so here the applicant is, well, the site is within the 25, 35 foot, no disturb and no build. The whole site's within the 100-foot buffer. The applicant's looking to renovate some parts of the house within the existing footprint, renovate the back deck and that patio area that's underneath the deck. The applicant understands that he's within the 25-foot no disturb and 35-foot no build zone. So he understands the importance of renovating just that existing patio piece underneath and not extending past that to respect those buffer zones. And they are going to replace the septic system. So it's currently on the right side of the lot here. And they're going to try putting it farther away from the wetlands, closer at the front of the lot here, and redo the driveway. And so the proposed driveway is this orange line. And the last thing, so we submitted this. We had received some comments from Vincent, which, happy to go over at any time. We did submit a revised plan addressing some of those things. And additionally, in that time frame, the applicant had originally proposed an overhang that was located extending out of the front of the house here, but he's no longer proposing that. So that was one main change to the site plan. And of course, we have the erosion control proposed along the side here and around the back. And I think that completes my overview, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
One question I have, Zoe, here, and it's a tough location, number one.
For sure.
What's going to happen between the edge of the water and the deck?
So between the edge of the water and the deck, really nothing except for the erosion control.
Okay, so you leave it as it is.
Leaving it as it is. There's some maintained lawn. The limit of lawn's not shown on here, which isn't super helpful. But I could actually pull up a picture. So here's a better picture of underneath what that looks like. So just going to be maintaining it as it is, and then just getting rid of this old patio concrete slab and putting a new piece there to not expand any impacts.
Is the deck coming down too?
The deck's going to be, totally redone. Yeah.
Okay. Same size, same footprint.
Exactly.
Okay. So nothing in front then, nothing in that area in front of the house, between the house and the water.
Between the house and the water, no.
Actually, if I could share my screen, I've got a couple of photos.
All right. Does that mean I have to stop? Let's
Just, yeah, go up to the top and stop sharing. You'll come back on, so don't move away from it.
Okay.
So I've got an image of that area that that Greg is talking about with a model as well. And so we've got this area that is the concern. It goes from here and it drops right down to the pond edge.
Yeah.
But this area is kind of overgrown. And I think I have, how do I move this screen around? Okay. Actually, that one had it a little bit. So this one, you can kind of see that the erosion control fabric, sediment fence is going to be going pretty much where our model is standing, and then around to the left and around the back of this area.
Yep. Looking
from the right side, looking back at the deck, this is what the shoreline looks like. So my question, and I think the concern that Greg raised is, I assume the new homeowner is going to go in there and do something with that. I may have another photo of it, but no, that's just the plan. So the concern is what is going to be happening in here, and I think we will probably have a condition in the approval that no alteration within the 25-foot occur. So I wasn't sure. I'm open to suggestions from you on how we can kind of make that make that all happen so that we don't have future violations on the site.
Yeah, so as of right now, the applicant's not proposing any work over there, including any vegetation removal or anything, because I've expressed to him that we're in the 25-foot no disturb zone. So as of right now, he understands that's not to be touched. And yeah, I totally understand the to put something out there to prevent future encroachment. So I did, mention it to the applicant, and he's more than happy and willing to put a sign out there if the commission feels like that's appropriate. And yeah.
One question I have here, I guess it's to Vinny and to Zoe, is that you can put that picture back up of the front of the house.
My
Or
picture or Zoe's?
Picture, either one, either the picture or the plan, where it doesn't really make a difference, just so I can point, as long as the front is shown
Do you have
down
that,
toward the
Zoe?
water.
Good.
Yeah.
So this whole area that we have here up about lot 4, this whole area is tires.
The embankment is, yes.
There's rubber tires all stashed in there, 2 or 3 high. Actually comes in a little bit too on the side there. Are we gonna just plan to leave it as it is, Vinny, or not disturb it, or what?
Well, that's part of the question. That is the existing conditions, is they built the retaining wall with tires and filled behind it. And they're not proposing to do anything with that.
Okay.
It's now covered over with a lot of bittersweet, so I would be fine with removing bittersweet, but I don't know what else is being proposed. It looks like it's not their property. If I'm looking at the property line correctly, the property line is inside of the tire line, so they don't have the right to go out into that area. So that's what I'm trying to figure out and get the proponents to propose something or commit to not doing something.
Okay.
Who owns that? Who owns the tires? Retaining wall.
I'm assuming that they were installed and constructed by the prior owners. And I think the prior owners thought that they owned right up to the pond edge. But is there an abutter listed? Can you zoom in to see if there's an abutter listed on Vito's plan? But that's Smith Pond. It doesn't look like it's there.
Yeah.
No.
Because when I walk down pretty much, if you go down the property line heading toward lot 4, the tires actually come up around the side there too.
Yeah, there's kind of like a ramp in the northeast corner, and that's a ramp down, and the tires form a retaining wall on the left side as well as along the bank side. So as you're driving down the ramp, it's on your left.
So I don't know if we want to do anything with those, or if we want, or remediation would cause more harm than leaving them alone. But that's one of the things we're looking for some guidance, I think, on.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a DEP number on this right now, so I think we have time to get Zoe hopefully has time to get a response and come up with some idea or plan of what they would like to do and what they can ask permission to do, I guess. I'm not kind of sure. And I'm just a little distracted just because I'm looking at the town's assessor information. I'm assuming that's town-owned property because when I go to the assessors on the town's GIS, nothing comes up. So I think it's Smith Pond owned by, doesn't say who owns it. Yeah, the area downhill is owned by Barbarian, but that one doesn't have a listing.
I would find it very odd if that was something that was town owned.
Well, it shows the town of Northborough Conservation. You guys own the island that's right across the water there. So you own the tires. What are you going to do with them?
It's part of our vast real estate holdings.
That's right. But I think we need to look into that. But I think
we
we have
do.
a
I
month
think we do.
to work through it. And I
Yeah.
think Zoe will come up with some good ideas, right?
Zoe, you still with us?
Yep, sorry.
You know
I
where-
forgot I was unmuted.
You know where I'm coming. You know where I'm coming from here. You know you know what we're talking about, the area there, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you guys are trying to see if the applicant would be willing to, I mean, so I guess I haven't really gotten like a certain answer. Like, so you guys want we're trying to figure out whether it makes sense to remove the tires or not, leave them as is, or remove them and
Yeah,
maybe that
I don't
area
know the answer
better
to that.
vegetation wise.
I don't know the answer to that question. So I mean, I'm looking for some guidance on that from whomever. Maybe the commission has some ideas on that one too.
For some reason, I'm a little. We frequently, and we just did it earlier this evening, right? We just said you can have a septic system replacement as long as you remove the debris that was in the wetland, right? Didn't we just do that? It's
We
sort
did.
of a similar thing here. It's not uncommon for us to correct problems like this. I'm sensitive to what you just said about might cause more harm than good to take them out. But for some reason, I'm troubled by leaving old tires in the pond here. And then when it comes to the ownership issue, I mean, I guess we could have somebody, maybe the applicant, look at this, but I think if it's not a great pond, which this is not that, meaning like 100 acres or under, then I believe the adjoining owners own under it to where they meet. So just because they've got the property line ending on the plan where they do, I don't know that that's where the property line ends.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the situation is that the tires are not just, I mean, if it were like on the other site that you were referring to, there's 2 tires, 3 tires, like here and there, and they're obviously not serving any purpose. They're just discarded there. This one, these tires were put in place, and it appears that they're actually staying up. So there's got to be some structure to them to keep them in place.
I think, there actually might be layers of tires there.
There are. It's a layered tire wall. It's not just tires up against the slope.
Let me ask this: was this an acceptable technique for creating a retaining wall like this at some point in the past? If you don't know, you don't know.
I've seen it used in the past. I'm not sure what the acceptable means. It's acceptable because it's cheap. It's like the old septic systems used to be an old steel barrel with shotgun holes in it, and that was it. That was acceptable before the 78 standard. I don't know how old the tires are and whether they're that situation. So I'm not sure if, like Greg has the point, is kind of the basis is, will removing them be more detrimental than leaving them? And we need some research into that.
Yeah, because I think there could be a lot that goes into that, Vinny, with potential silt. Obviously, a lot of silt issues could happen. So you're looking at some type of something that you have to put out in the pond, right? So that silt doesn't get everywhere. You have to get equipment basically down and in there, and you're going to be, those tires could go deep into the ground too. So I don't know what the depth of them are and kind of the stability and all that stuff. So I guess it's just something maybe for the applicant to kind of take a look at, come back to us at the next meeting with just some thoughts on it, and overall, is it still stable, and if they were to take them out, what does it involve? Could be more expensive overall than this whole project is to get those things out of there. So, I think it's different than, I know Todd had mentioned kind of the pile, of debris. I think this might be a little bit different than that, but I think we need the applicant to kind of tell us, where they are, because this would be the time to do it, right? You're going to have a bunch of equipment out there. You're going to be doing work and everything too. So while you have equipment, while you have access to the back there, now would be the time to do it. But I just, we would need some some direction on the stability and whether or not, you know, it makes sense to do it, or, you know, if it's better to just leave it in place at this point.
Yep, I agree. All right. Anything else? I know we had, so just from the commission standpoint, if you're out and about over the next month, folks, if you're driving down Otis Street, take a ride into Hillside, take a walk down, you'll see the house. When you pull right in, it's looking right in dead ahead. Walk down and you'll see the tires and you'll get an idea what we're talking about. So let me check here. I thought we had you got a hand up here. I've got a hand. Scott Rogers, I'm going to bring you in as a panelist. I think I am. You are in process. Scott, are you with us?
Yeah, hi Greg. Thanks for letting me join. No questions or anything. I was just watching the meeting.
Oh, you had your hand up, so.
Oh, did it do a hand up? My apologies. Yeah, didn't mean, it must have been a slip. My apologies.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, thank you. So Zoe, I think we're all set, right? We have no DP number, so we can't close anyway. We got a couple questions here.
Oh, and just a final follow-up. The other question that they didn't address in my questions was the idea of the septic system separation of groundwater. So I checked with the Board of Health, and they haven't seen the plan yet. So if the Board of Health approves it, then it's going to be approved, and then we just review it based on that. So I let the Board of Health folks know, Mike Seeger, know the question, and he's gonna, when the submittal comes in, he's gonna let me know what they've decided.
Good. Okay. Anything else from the commission? Any more questions, comments we have here? Okay. Then we need a motion to continue 6 Hillside Road.
So moved.
Through a second.
Second.
Second by Diane. Roll call. Dan Clark.
Yes.
Just Dufresne.
Yes.
Diane Goldner.
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes. Continued till February.
What's the date? Sorry, February
February 12th.
February 12th. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Super.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Zoe.
you, Zoe. If you have questions, Zoe, just give me a call.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Right of first refusal consideration, 432 Whitney Street. I think we all know what that's about. Anyone, do you want to set this up?
Sure. Do you want to see a plan, or, I mean, they were actually, that's probably best to do the open space. All right, let me, come on. All right.
Go.
So this was a sketch that I pulled together showing what that does. Whitney Street going bottom left to upper right. The town boundary is right here with Berlin. In red is 432 Whitney Street. The property is just to the east of the CSX Railroad, which is just to the east of the Wachusett Aqueduct. So currently, there is no access between this open space, which is owned by the DCR flood control folks. Actually, the one area down here, I think, is ponds and lakes, and then flood control in this area for the Barefoot Brook flood control. So currently, we have a trail going down the Wachusett Aqueduct Trail and no way to go across the railroad tracks to get into this property. What this property in question will provide is we go across from Aqueduct across Whitney Street and then down through this property, and then we could gain access for a trail system to go off and tie into that. And to zoom out a little bit, that that image gives you an idea that 432 Whitney ties into that Barefoot Brook flood control area that then goes even farther downstream into Berlin, and then across 495 is just on the other side here. And then you could get into Hudson. So it's definitely a connection for an east-west corridor that doesn't exist right now. So that's a benefit of that. I also kind of pulled together, this is the notice of intent to sell or convert property. So this is where it comes in, is that it's chapter 61A, and the town has the right of first refusal. So that's kind of the background. You guys are all more familiar with it than I am. So I'll let you discuss it.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I think we're all, I've walked that property at least 6 or 8 times over the last 10 years. So got a pretty good idea of what it is or isn't. Dan, open space vote on this one, right? Said yes?
Yeah, I think there was unanimous consensus. This was a high priority parcel, and we all thought it'd be worthwhile for the town to exercise the right of first refusal for lots of reasons. Some of Vinnie's mentioned, and just it's a good open space acquisition in terms of the size, connectivity to existing open space. So we were all in favor of it.
Did his planning voted on this yet?
Yes, they did, and they recommended to acquire it.
And I think the select board's doing it tonight, right?
It was up for discussion. They were hoping to get your feedback. I told them that it was coming after our meeting tonight. So I did get.
Go ahead.
I hadn't gotten a response back until this afternoon from DEP on the idea of uses. The Conservation Commission has there's a big wetland right in this eastern portion. You can see a existing drive that everyone's aware of along the north edge, but this wetland here kind of limits the development going down to the southern portion of the site. The current area is zoned commercial, or currently the area is zoned commercial industrial. And so that development is allowed, and the buyer has I think has a history, is what I was told, with a rail operation. And so I wasn't sure how the Wetlands Protection Act and what kind of jurisdiction there was for a rail operation. And when I talked to the person at DEP today, she said rail operations are consider themselves exempt, and the DEP has not gotten a legal determination or a legal decision to allow them to force them to comply with the Wetlands Protection Act. So
I believe that the use of the term is railroaded.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, very appropriate.
This actually came up at the Community Preservation Commission meeting last week, where we actually vote on projects, and it looks like they're going to have about $1 million to spend. This is likely going to be the thing they're gonna spend it on, they're still gonna need some money from someplace else. But there was also discussion, and we don't know whether it would work yet or not, but it might be part open space, part affordable housing, if it could be worked.
Yes.
So I mean, I just wanted to, we were talking about all this open space purposes for it, but there was also discussion about having the money come from two different pots. Part of it would be for if they can, and like you said, it's tough to get in there, but if you do, there might be some room for some affordable housing at the back.
Yes, and the prior conversations, it is something that can be done. It would definitely not go over the 5,000 square foot wetland fill limit. If they were to do some filling to get an access road in, it would be a narrower, it would be pushed up against the western shoulder here, the western property edge, but it is feasible to build a road and go up to the area up at top here. It's actually a beautiful view out to the east, and it overlooks the wetlands down below and the pond system down here. So it would be a good opportunity, good use for housing.
I'm in favor of it. So,
Todd, was there any discussion at CPC about where the other funding may come from?
Not particularly. I mean, they could borrow for it. It wouldn't be a ton to borrow because I think we'd be 700 short. They could do it at town meeting. They could, if we could borrow. I don't know whether they talked about ARPA funds for this or not. I don't know, but that didn't seem to be an impediment from what I was hearing.
Okay. All right. Any more questions, comments from the commission?
Where does the stream go through in the part that's green?
It flows under, where am I here? It flows under the aqueduct and under 290, comes through here, and then flows around and up this way. Right through pretty much through the middle of the green. It actually cuts the edge there.
And where does this green parcel stop from at the other end of this map? Is that up in the parking lot up there?
Well, the green continues.
Yeah, but that's
town line is there.
Town line is there.
Yep.
Okay. You all set, Diane?
Well, I'm just thinking that if you put in housing, you're probably going to have more and more people using this wetland area. And where, other than the property that's outlined in rows, where would they enter and exit?
The wetland area?
Yeah.
Long way away from anything being planned about that.
Well, they could, yes, and that's true. They could walk from here, walk down the road, go to Forbes Road, go to the end of the cul-de-sac at the end of Forbes Road, unless that's private. I think that's public. But
there's fencing down there, for one thing.
Okay,
but
so I was looking at that as a loop.
Okay, but I'm just thinking that knowing when people congregate and they want to go for a walk or they want to do things, they will spread out and use it. So if it's going to be used, even if it's not set up as a park or a walkway or anything, you should have some control over where people can enter and exit.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I think we were talking about if this was going to be a parking area, we're going to utilize the existing stone dust path that goes in there in that open area to have a parking area for people that kind of go around and go up to Aqueduct Trail, what you said, Aqueduct Trail there, and then think about building something in here. So it was just under consideration that it would just be used here, and that might be possible to have that as parking for a trailhead and then have the road continue on and go to the development of a housing property up top.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But like Todd said, Diane, that's probably a ways away.
Mhm.
And then,
Well, in the meantime, go down and tell all the deer that live down there that they can't have that for housing anymore.
okay. All right. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a vote here from the Conservation Commission, that you can then document that and send that.
Yes, and then I will send up a memo to the select board with a recommendation from the Conservation Commission.
Okay. All right. I mean, my personal position is I'm kind of on the fence here, but when I start looking at some of the what ifs could happen if it's taken over by the rail company with very little interaction on our part, then probably the right way to go. So
I take it the private person who was going to buy this has backed out. Wasn't there a private person?
no,
No.
there's an accepted purchase and sale or agreed to purchase.
Okay.
That's what's kind of driving this whole effort, I think, is that
Yeah. Right, certification of purchase and sale agreement.
Yeah.
So they have a certified PNS.
Okay.
And Howland Development is the nominee or assigns in Wilmington, Mass.
I know it's been an interesting ride, hasn't it, for a while? So, okay, no more questions, concerns. Then we're going to vote on accepting to move ahead with the purchase of 432 Whitney Street. We support that. That's the motion, correct?
Yes. Yep. For the town to continue or to begin the process to acquire 432 Whitney Street.
Okay. Let's roll call it. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Did I miss a motion in a second?
You did, because we didn't do one.
Oh, okay.
We can back it up. There was no hearing really, right? It's a discussion.
No, it's just a decision, but
Yeah. Now, Dan Clark, interesting. You voted twice on this now.
Consistently. Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, be a net zero. Net push.
That's right. Cancel myself out. Yeah.
okay.
So I guess this would move, if the select board approves it, this will move forward to town meeting, Todd, right? That's the next spot for the pitch.
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless
Is it gonna
you're
be on
asked to buy it, because I think you can just buy it, but
Make it into a pickleball area.
we voted for $54,000 in soundproofing for the pickleball courts last week too.
I'll bet you did. I'll bet you did. I hear that every time I drive by. All I can think of is that one house right
And-
next to the pickle courts.
They had a very compelling letter that they sent.
I'll bet they did. Probably an audio tape came with the letter. Yeah.
Interesting. I was talking to an ortho guy recently about pickleball, and I asked him how many injuries he sees. He says he sees them every day now. Pickleball injuries are prevalent.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
okay. COC for 93 Maple Lane, Vinny.
Yes, 93 Maple Lane, the request, and this one was what's the easiest way to do this?
You have pictures or?
I have pictures, but I also have a plan. So
Okay.
let's go with the picture first. So it's not tough, but so here we have the site. There you go. It's 93 Maple Lane. goes in a little cul-de-sac, or I'm not even sure. I guess it's a cul-de-sac, dead end. It goes into Bartlett Pond. Bartlett Pond's on it's the west end, but bottom of the picture here. Bank goes up. The people back in 2002 had a house there. They got approval for an addition, and the commission issued an order of conditions. They didn't issue an order of conditions for a deck, but the building application had both an addition and the deck. So I believe that both were constructed back in 2002 and received a certificate of occupancy back in 2002. So that for some reason the commission just didn't include the deck, or just assume the deck was part of the construction, but it wasn't in the submittal. So that's what they had done. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, that was pretty seamless. This is the condition now. The addition is here. The additional deck in the front there matches and ties right into the rest of the deck here. And down about another 25 feet is the water. And this all slopes down. It's all stable. It's all protected. It's in very good shape. And they're requesting a certificate of compliance.
Looks good.
Yep.
I think Wayne used to have his house was next door to hers.
His last house?
Yeah, Wayne Baldelli, when he was
Yeah.
on the board. Yeah, but he lived
Yeah.
next door to her, I think.
So, I mean, this is 20 years old, Vinny, right? It's happened 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
almost older than me.
So, that's right. So do we have any reason why we shouldn't issue the COC?
Well, just that they didn't have the deck, but it's been 20 years, like you said. So I think it should be fine. I didn't see any issues. There's no environmental issues.
Right. Any question from the commission? Anybody have any other opinions here on what to do?
No, I'm good to issue it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. And we need a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 93 Maple Lane.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Todd. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
yes.
I vote yes. All right. That concludes the agenda for the public hearing. No violations, Vinny, huh?
Correct.
Good, good. Informal discussions, the forest stewardship and the Bartlett Pond invasive plant tree. Let's start with Bartlett Pond.
All right. Bartlett Pond, I am in the midst of posting a request for proposals to do a 3-year treatment program in Bartlett Pond.
Mhm.
There are currently 4 consultants, or I guess contractors that do the treatment in the New England area.
Well, they've grown from one. Used to be one for a while.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
2 of them are more distant, and I'm not expecting a lot there, but at least there's competition between 2 that are very close.
Good.
So
Okay.
I'm hoping to get 2 good solid bids at least.
Mhm.
And I'm putting it out on, when is it? I think it's going to be posted on the 15th of January, and have the bids have to be returned by February 1st. So at our next meeting, I hope we will be selecting, I'm going to have to get a couple of volunteers for a selection committee, and then we'll decide on what it is to make a recommendation to the Conservation Commission.
Okay, good, good.
How far away did you have to go?
Oh, for the,
Yeah.
I think there's
What'd you
one
say?
in Shrewsbury, one in Grafton, and then one in Rhode Island, and another one up in New Hampshire.
Solitude still around is one of them, I take it still.
Solitude is, yes. I think they're Shrewsbury. They may even be Northborough, but I thought they were Shrewsbury.
Vinny, you want volunteers now, or do you want to go ahead and seek them out on your own?
Now is great. I have people, so.
Okay.
Is that
Any
your hand up,
volunteers?
Dan?
I'll help, sure.
Great. There's one. You want a second one?
Yes, please.
Diane
I
would
can
love
s-
to.
Okay.
Dan and Diane, okay. And I'll send the packages electronically, and I think it's self-explanatory.
Super. And we got money for that, don't we, Vinny? I think we approve 3 years worth a while ago.
We approved 5 years, well, multi-year, and I think it'll be 5 years worth. But I can only, according to which I found this out, was I can only go out 3 years on a contract.
Okay.
So we may need to extend something.
Okay.
And then part of the contract is to get a order of conditions.
That was CPC money too, isn't it?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 135 back in 2018 or 19.
Gotta grab it now before it goes someplace else, you know? We just talked about it.
Oh, it's designated.
Okay. All right. What's happening with the forest stewardship?
We're making progress in drafting the contract. I'm waiting for the Wigmore Forest Resource Management folks to get the final version to me that they're happy with, and then I have to present it to the town administrator, the new town administrator, who's been really good to work with, and the finance folks, and one other person. Oh, the town council. So once we get it back from Wigmore Resources, we will then I will then bring it up to the other town offices to have them review, and then hopefully we get it signed. And then once they are under contract, they will attend the next Trails Committee meeting. But my fear is the next Trails Committee meeting is coming up faster than what I will get for sign-offs at the town level. So I think I would like to postpone that Trails Committee meeting attendance to the February meeting. But I have to check with the chair of the Trails Committee to see if that would be okay.
You know, we also could just do a separate meeting.
Yes, well, the trails, we could do it, and we can
Right.
have them at one of our meetings. But the Trails Committee was very interested, and I had committed, and we kind of had committed to doing it back in December. We just haven't gotten the contract finalized, so I was trying to follow. So it's not too much of a change, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about existing meetings, but let's once you get the contract signed, then we can figure it out. And it might be a separate session where they come in, they talk to us and Trails and whomever, or we could then open up for a broader public one too. We need to discuss that whole communication plan with them.
Yes, and once we get, there's a lot of communication built into the contract documents. That's what they're going to be providing an outline overview of what they're proposing to do. We're also applying, I've also drafted, once the contract's in place, I will be applying for additional money from the state, and a big portion of that money is for public outreach and education. So not only do we have outreach and education and cooperation in the original contract, we're going to get a whole separate contract with from the DCR for that as well. We hope anyway, under the Community Implementation Grant.
If it's not too late, I guess I would request that the Conservation Commission at least be present the first time we have a discussion with this woman, and not the first conversation be with the Trails Committee.
No, I agree, Dan. My intent was never to have that happen. We'd be
Okay.
their partnership with them. So
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Good stuff. Progress.
Yes.
Okay. What else is going on? That pretty much covers everything here. Next meeting is February 12th.
Yes,
Any
it is.
known conflicts? Any known conflicts? Things come up, we know, but nothing new. Okay. Anything else going on around town need to be aware of? Anybody seen anything? Anybody have tractors in the wetlands or crazy stuff like that? I did see on Facebook during the storm we had the other day that there was some lights were out for a while on Lincoln Street, and somebody said it was because a tree came down from one of the two new houses.
Hmm.
But
On
I drove
Lincoln
by there
Street?
today, didn't see anything. So
Oh. Okay, yeah, no, I probably have 4 or 5 tree removal requests that I've got to go out and look. Got 2 today. It's just tough to tell where the wetland edge is now under 7 inches of snow.
right. Is there anything we know coming in next month? Anything new?
No, not that I'm sure. We had one. No, I don't know. There was talk of a couple, but nothing certain.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, thought we're pretty close to your requirements.
I know. I was thinking that.
Not bad.
We've got 2 months in a row, fairly easy agendas here. So you know what that means.
Well, they all keep continuing.
Okay. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Diane. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Jess Dufresne,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
I vote yes. Good deal. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Owen, for your support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody stay well, and we will see you next month.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.